Welcome, everyone. This is Tom. Welcome to the Lone Wolf Prepper channel, to Dukes of Hazzard Friday Night Live. Why do I call it that? It's because I feel like I'm the Duke boys dealing with Boss Hogg and Roscoe all the time when it comes to dealing with what the government's trying to do to us, all the lies and deception. Anyway, the channel's still growing, still getting subscribers, which I appreciate. I'm closing in on 200,000 views, even though how much they're trying to slam me down. I'm still growing. My thoughts of the day, let's just say they're getting some interesting comments. There's a lot of people that are filled with hate there, and they take the thoughts of the day personal. Now, I'm not sending them out there to take them personal. I'm saying them to make you think. And if one applies to you and what you feel is a negative way, then just think it through. Throwing nasty insults at me isn't going to help it. Okay? So, anyway, I'm just saying. But there's definitely more good comments than bad. So, and I don't get too upset if somebody does it. Hi, Carol, how you doing? I really don't get too upset if somebody disagrees with what I say. I don't agree with what everybody else says. So I definitely don't expect everybody to agree with what I say. So, in this country, you can just turn it off. But, insulting, whatever you have to do to get through your day, I'm thick-skinned. Believe me, I've been through a lot of insults before in my life. Your petty little ones ain't going to hurt. Hi, Janetta. Oh, my day's going good. I was out, if you saw my latest short, I was out in the old tractor lining up bales. Just another part of haying. They got to stick the old guy in the tractor that doesn't have air conditioning stuff because this newer generation, they couldn't handle that. But I like driving that old stuff. Takes me back to a day when I was a kid doing field work. But anyway, there's more. Yep, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's what made this country so great. A diversity of opinions and ideas. Not just everybody on the same page, but a whole bunch of different pages coming together to make a book called The United States of America. That's a good way of putting it. You're darn right. But you don't have to listen to every opinion, but everybody's allowed to have their opinion. So, and I like listening to everybody's opinion. I love listening to people, especially people that can make me think intellectually. Okay. But anyway, I did get one nice comment, one really nice compliment. I had some guy or some subscriber write that I was just the country version of Joe Rogan. Well, that's a pretty big compliment, I feel. But no, I just replied back, no, I'm just a cowboy in a ring that's just really upset. I feel I have to do something, and that's why I'm on YouTube. And when the shooting starts, I won't be on YouTube no more because I'll be in the trenches. But anyway, and my subs are great. Oh, I love these pop-ups that come. I don't understand this, all these pop-ups that come on these computers and stuff. I'm going live. I don't need pop-ups coming on my computer. Anyway, so, and all my subs are great. And I tell you what, YouTube has got me like chopped off at the legs, my arms tied behind my back, a couple gags over my mouth. They dropped the safe that goes into a bank over my head to bury me, and they still can't stop me. And all I got to do is hit the delete button. I don't understand whatever, but like I say, I can say whatever I want on YouTube, and all these other creators can't. they got to step around words. Screw that. YouTube has obviously allowed me to say whatever I want. Now, too many people start coming to the channel, that may change. But then it's up to all of us to spread the word. Okay, let's get to the subject now. First thing I want to discuss is, yes, Carol, I got your message today about the outage. Let me tell you guys all something. I am looking forward to the day. Get off of there, you pop-up. Looking forward to the day when I am in my dugout, sitting in my chair with my lantern light, reading my Western novels. Okay? With my bushcrafting skills and my survival skills and not having to deal with society anymore. See, the outages don't bother me now. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I pray to God that he takes electricity from us. People may ask, well, that's insanity. Really? Do you realize if we don't have electricity, they can't even start World War III? I don't know what's up with that pop-up. But anyway, they can't even start World War III. I want to go back. So when I hear news like this, I celebrate. You know why? Because America is too dependent on automation. And I learned at a young age, automation stinks. Because when I was 16 and it was a Friday night and I wanted to go out that night because I had plans with friends and we're doing chores, right? And all of a sudden, this automation that we had back in the 80s to feed the cattle, the bearing went out on the elevator. Guess what we were doing that Friday night to make sure the cows got fed? When feeding the old way would have worked. But anyway, I learned at a young age, and I remember even saying to Paul Lindemann, this automation stuff sucks. So anyway, I'm not big into automation. So we have these outages. Good practice. Good practice to use your preps. Good practice to sit there and set your phone down and forget about it. You know, I lost my central air this week, and I'm dealing with the heat. But you know what? I don't care. I will say my dogs are kind of not exactly enjoying it all that much. They got a little spoiled. But me, great. Like I say, I'm ready for my lean-to or my dugout. Read my Western. Fishing from the stream. Without no electricity, no cars, or nothing like that. So when I hear this stuff, I ain't going to say I celebrate because I realize a lot of people depend on it. But I don't depend on the system or nobody or the federal government. That's why I'm a lone wolf. And it's just, I know that day's coming. So everybody should realize that day is coming. Okay? This should not be something new. But people get all excited. But that's just my view on it. I can't wait for that day. And if some people are upset at me about that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm ready to go back to the 1800s. Before electricity and gasoline engines. I guess they still have petroleum oil for lamps and stuff, but I'm ready to go back before the internal combustion engine and electricity. I feel life was a lot healthier back then, a lot safer, and people were a hell of a lot happier. And a lot more independent. I mean, preppers back then in the 1850s, the 1860s, 1800s, that was a lifestyle. Because if you didn't live that lifestyle, you didn't live through the winter. Just like I'm out there haying now to make sure we have hay for our animals through the winter so they survive. So everybody still has beef on their plate. Anyway, I'm ready for no electricity. So anyway, but I appreciate you sending me messages like that, Carol. I do read them. So, but I never even looked into it. I saw the outages were out, and I was like, I know it's not going to last. If I knew it was going to last and it was something permanent, I guess I wouldn't be seeing it anyway now, would I? But the day the lights go out, for a long time, me being out here, is the day I have a nice big smile on my face. I know that's selfish to say that, but I've really had it with this society. Anyway, now to the subject. Headed for civil war. That's the only outcome this country's going to see now. The only outcome. We have been divided in so many different ways on so many different topics. I mean, from foreign wars to what people are doing in their bedrooms, from the border to what's going on in our schools, from people like me living in reality and trying to be forced to live in somebody's other's fantasy world as reality. I mean, whatever the Democrats are doing, they're just divide. But it is backfiring in their face, and we'll get to that. Because the Democratic Party is also fracturing because of the crap they're pulling. But anyway, the Trump assassination. This is another way to divide us. By putting out disinformation, misinformation about it was a staged event. I mean, I had a discussion with my daughter this evening about somebody she knows thinks it was staged. Okay, I just don't think Trump said to somebody, even the best sniper he knew, and said, hey, I tell you what, right at this time, I'm going to turn my head like this. You're going to be up there. That'll give you a straight shot, and I want you to shoot me in the ear so I can get popular and get more votes and win even bigger than I was already going to win. I mean, are you kidding me? Why don't you just put an apple on top of his head? See, the thing is, we're not hearing the whole truth behind it. See, it's dividing us because people like us, frankly, I don't care about them. All I know is that people want Trump dead, and they try. Okay? And whatever comes out about this guy, this supposed shooter, and the lax in security, and the Secret Service basically must have been on their phones or something. Okay? That's what I'm assuming. Must have been watching YouTube. Okay? But whatever. The point is, people want Trump dead because they would rather remain slaves or push somebody to think that they want to remain a slave. Anyway, I don't. The facts, so much is coming out. Now he may have been a transgender. Whatever. Okay. All I know is it was allowed to happen. Like to say, assassinations are allowed to happen. And that was allowed to happen. Just thank God that God had his hand in that. Yep, government slaves. I don't see it. Slavery never ended. They just found a different way to enslave us. I mean, they take your money. They take your time. The most precious thing there is your time. I mean, you need to do something that the government requires you to do. How much time does that take out of your life? Especially if you live in a big city with a big county. I've been in places before where I had to stop 3 different places to get a driver's license. And they're all on different sides of the city. Now tell me, how is that me saving time? That's why I like living out here in flyover country. Because everything's done at the courthouse. And the courthouse is no bigger than 2 stories with a few rooms. Let's see. Filming the man on the roof and screaming there's a man on the... Yeah. And what I don't understand. And maybe this is because of me being a Marine. If you're filming him for over a minute, taking pictures, you know what this guy wants to do. Get the hell up on that roof and stop him. Start screaming at the top of your lungs, pointing them out as you're running to him and stuff. Maybe some cop will try to... You create a ruckus. have created a ruckus and then been up on that roof. Even if I would have had to take a bullet, you guys don't understand. You're all waiting for the cops to show up, the Secret Service, the police and stuff. Sometimes the situation requires you to be that first responder. All I know is that these people are filming it, knowing he's going to take a pot shot at the president, Trump, and you're not going to do nothing about it. But get your camera out. That would have been the last thing on my mind. I would have saw that. I would have jumped into action. Remember what it was like after 9/11? And these morons would try to take planes over after that? And everybody, all the passengers would just pile on them? And now we're back to the point where we're going to take video of some guy wanting to take a shot at Trump and do nothing about it. I don't understand. He's got our back. What did we show him that day? I know, see, I'm getting excited about it because it's so stupid. You know, I'm not saying I go out to be a hero. But if I got stuck in a situation like that where a hero doesn't walk out his door, I want to be a hero. This is what happens. He's going on with his life, and something happens in his vicinity that he has to take charge of. He has to react to. He has to do something because nobody else will. You know what's the liberals' favorite line? Hey, somebody go do something. Somebody get help. Well, they stand there with the camera. I know, the second shooter on the water tower. Okay, my theory behind that is possible. But if there was, I don't think he took a shot because there were two shooters in the Kennedy assassination and they got Kennedy. That means you had your patsy who couldn't shoot and you had the guy who could. Now, I'm assuming when the patsy started shooting, if there was a second shooter, what happened was as soon as Trump noticed he was hit, did you see how fast he hit? I mean, just like disappeared by himself, not the Secret Service around him. It's because of the way he reacted on his own that saved his life. If there was a second shooter, he dropped before he could pull the trigger. Trump saved his own damn life. Secret Service ought to be ashamed of themselves. Don't ever take that away from you, Trump, either. You saved your own life. I would start surrounding you with people that you can trust. Okay. Yeah, he went down. I mean, he just dropped out of sight like he was military trained. Yeah, but it was a fake job. And then he gets up, he had his 9 seconds. You know what? He was pissed. And my daughter bringing that up, I said, what do you think I would have done if I was in that situation? That would happen to me. And my daughter goes, holy shit, I never thought of it that way. God dang right, I would have got up I probably would have. See, in the Marine Corps, they teach you if you want to stay alive, you charge bullets. You don't run from them. So if that would have been me, I'd probably, just in us. By the way, I am disappointed in the people that just took video and did nothing. Watching it for over a minute and did nothing. Just imagine how you would feel today if you took that film and did nothing and Trump would have got killed knowing you could have did something to stop it. There's too many variables in this. I don't want to go down that. Okay, but that's just another way they're dividing us. And like the video, the short I made about the legal precedent being set because of, Alex Jones being sued because of Sandy Hook. Now all these people that are saying this was a staged event, can't they get sued too? YouTube doesn't want to push that video. They won't put it on the feed. Can you imagine that? By the way, I'm so sick of it. Staged event. Okay. Tell you what, I would never put an apple on top of my head and let somebody shoot it, especially, I'm going to turn my head right at this time. But the second shooter, if he didn't get a shot off because Trump dropped too quick. Thank God. I mean, there's so many ways that could have went the way they wanted it. Does everybody realize that? And we'd be in civil war right now if he would have got shot. Why does it take for us to do something? Would it take for him to die for us to do something? All I know, and this is what it's coming down to. Nobody did nothing when they saw the shooter, and Trump saved his own ass by hitting the deck when he did. Okay? So because the lack of Americans acting like Americans should, Trump had to save his own ass. And then the Secret Service, oh my God, we need to do something. I didn't want to hear all the facts because all this is going to piss me off. All I know is the man saved his own life, and the people that he's trying to protect just watched it happen. Screw the Secret Service. It's time we need to start protecting that man, okay? Whatever. I mean, I'm angry about it because it could have really went the other way because people look the other way. They want to get on the Secret Service, like I say. Fine, get on the Secret Service, absolutely. Then tell me, isn't it your civic duty to interfere with a crime, especially to try to stop a crime, especially if they're trying to assassinate the next president? Just a question. But anyway, okay. I've gone down that path. It upsets me. You can see that. All I know is I'm a reactionary type of guy. I was taught to run at bullets to save my ass, not run from them. Anyway, so, and they want to shoot Trump and stuff. And then Angry Prepper gets a visit from the FBI saying, from a video 5 months ago, how did you know that might happen? What are these people living under a rock? Why don't they go start talking to some of these liberals that are threatening Trump? Like Joe Biden. And whoever that stupid actress was that held up his severed head. Stuff like that to motivate some weak-minded retard to do this. I watched the whole video and was sad to hearing about the victims and how their firefighter was defending his family. Yeah. And they want to say that was a staged event? Whatever. Like I say, I believe the victims should be able to sue all these people, just like they broke Alex Jones. They set the legal precedent. The liberals do all this all the time. They had to sue the shit out of it. So anyway, but I don't want the Dems assassinated. I don't want these retarded people, and I'm not Mitch McConnell too. So I'm not going to say the people that are trying to destroy our lives and are guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors against the federal government and the American people. I don't want them, even when they get found guilty, not hanging or nothing like that. No. I got a completely different punishment for them. I want them to stay alive as long as they possibly can. I want them to have the best medical there is, the best food there is, and we'll give them even a nice fluffy pillow and mattress so they can sleep together. But I think where they should be located is around a fence around this small mountain, and for 12 hours a day, or we'll go 11 hours a day, with 15-minute breaks every 2 hours. Or no, 11 and a half, we'll give them a half-hour lunch. And for 6 hours a day, they take little tack hammers, and they turn that mountain into dust. And then they get Sundays off. Okay? And I want them to stay alive as long as possible and to endure their white privilege that they're going to get to have. killing these people on the other side's too good for them. Their soul needs to be tortured with hard work and realization of what they've done for many years. And maybe they'll repent enough where God will take them. So, anyway, but the Dems are splitting. You know, another civil war. There's one thing about a civil war. You know, ours had two sides. But in some of these other countries, you know, they have multicultural, ethnic. They're you know, they have a lot of cultures there. You know, it's not just one side. It may be three or four. And now you got the Democrat Party split big time, completely falling apart. Where they're basically having a civil war in the Democratic Party right now. Tell me I'm wrong. The ones that want to stand behind Joe Biden and say everything's fine. He just had a cold. And the ones that are living a little bit of reality saying, no, he's not. And I got a feeling this other faction doesn't like the group that's hanging around Joe. They don't trust him because they can't control him. I mean, one thing the Democrats didn't count on when they stole the election for old JoJo in 2020 was Jill. Well, they should have looked up on the Woodrow Wilson presidency and what his wife did. But anyway, so they're splitting. It's because, you know, the Democrats, let's make everybody happy. And how many different factions does the Democratic Party have now? I mean, you got the old Democrats from the Kennedy era, you know, are being duped at the new Democrats that accept everything. And I don't need to go into everything, you know, but, you know, and then these small groups that they're trying to please, they're not even happy with each other. Anyway, you know, and they have nothing to get behind. What are they going to get behind? You know, the Republican convention was great. I loved Hulk Hogan. Same old Hulk Hogan. I mean, but how are you supposed to not get behind this guy? I mean, he shouldn't have been standing there. Well, actually, should have been. If people would have reacted, like you say, thank God he hit the deck and saved his own life. Like you say, I didn't see no Secret Service around him when he hit the deck. Now, when I saw Ronald Reagan got shot, what was the first thing? As soon as that shot rang out, the guy jumped in front of him and he was surrounded by Secret Service getting pushed in the limo. Remember that? What kind of reaction did you see from this? Oh, maybe that's why the press went with that first, that Trump fell and cut his ear and the Secret Service carried him off the stage. This type of Looney Tune world we live in, where we got to hear stuff like that. Everybody knew what happened. Anyway, because next time you Americans see something like that, do something. Don't just take your phone out. Who cares about the $1 million picture? I mean, if that's all you're concerned about, oh, I'm going to get some video now, get some views or get me rich. Really? I'm so sick of that. Anyway, you can see it upsets me that nobody did nothing and he had to save his life by hitting the deck. At least the man's watching out for his own life. Clean house and Secret Service, I don't even know where to start. Well, the end with the diversity hires, that's for sure. So, anyway. But, yeah. We got civil war coming. I mean, the division is just too great. They have succeeded. Both sides calling for it now. I mean, there's no way around it no more. I mean, like you say, Trump had started with the Steele dossier to get him out, went through everything all the way up to getting him to be a criminal, and now they're shooting at him. So, you know, how are we going to come together? Am I all of a sudden going to drop everything that I was taught right from wrong and accept what these people are doing and think my grandchildren should go to school with kids who think they're furries? Really? I thought animals weren't allowed in school. I mean, if we're going to play the fantasy, animals aren't allowed in school. Go with the flow. It's either 100% or no percent. You know, with those people, those exceptions. Well, we got to make an exception. Okay. You know, the Democrats, you know, I wish the Democrats would realize that they are not going to win in 2024. They're going to lose the House, they're going to lose the Senate, and they're going to lose the presidency. All because of their actions. Not because Trump's doing some super duper job at campaigning. The Democrats are just doing the lousiest job ever, exposing themselves. And now that they're shooting at Trump, you're going to get a sympathy thing there. Okay, and most Democrats are waking up to realize that Joe Biden is somebody who needs to be in a nursing home or be on, you know, home care instead of the White House in charge of nuclear weapons. I don't even know who's in charge in D.C. anymore. Do you honestly know who's in charge? Who gives the word if Russia or North Korea were to launch a nuke at us? Or China would do or Russia or China together would do a full-scale nuclear strike? Who's going to be in charge of those decisions? I mean, we need competence at leadership positions. I mean, him having dementia isn't his fault, but it doesn't matter. He's got to go, and I think he's going to be gone by Monday. I already did a video on it. Okay. How are we going to fix this? Well, it's going to come down to civil war. You know, when you got two sides that are not going to cave, you know, we're dancing around the ring right now. Eventually, the blows are going to be swinging, and they are swinging. You know, this assassination attempt, not just the shot, but the whole mess behind it with allowing to happen by the Secret Service. Not the civilians, but by the Secret Service allowing it to happen. Okay, it's just a mess. But we're supposed to trust them, right? You know, how are we going to fix this? How are we going to fix the government totally trying to continue their path? Well, it's easy. We need the government to fear and respect us again. Okay? I remember learning catechism. To fear and love God. Remember that? You know, they need to fear us instead of JoJo threatening us with F-15 Hellfire missiles and nuclear weapons. They should be the ones of us. They should be afraid of us. You know, taking them out in the street and tar and feathering them. You know, they should be behind fences during January 6th because they thought their lives were in danger. But our borders are allowed to be wide open because fences don't do nothing, right? We need to make them fear us. You know, there's so many things Donald Trump needs to do when he gets into office. Right? to give us our country back. The first thing he needs to cut the government by at least 80%. I mean, can we get back to the original Constitution? The Secretary of War, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Treasury? Why does the government need to be involved in farming and ranching? Why does the federal government need to be involved in school system? Why does the federal government needs to be involved in natural lands in other states? They're not authorized by the Constitution to have none of that. Or the FBI, no federal police force. To give the country back to the people, we got to reinstate the Constitution, where all men are created equal, because we fixed that little problem about slavery. Or didn't we? But anyway, if these politicians just walk around like they're better than us. They're our servants, for crying out loud. They're there to protect our lives so I can pursue my happiness and be free from intrusion from the government or any other citizen from me pursuing my happiness, especially if I obey the laws. That's what they're there for, not to create laws that take up my time, take more money from me, require me to do some service, or try to require me to take some vaccine. That's what your parents do. Okay? I guess it's just getting to the point where our government doesn't fear us at all. Look, they stole the election in 2020. Nothing happened. They take a shot at Trump. Oh, if he would have been killed, we would have done something. That we need to do something. That would never happen. Okay, get the government to fear us. How do we do that? We organize. Now, we still need to get out and vote. The thing about voting is I'm sick of the machines. Screw the machines. Piece of paper, a pencil, make an X, and then they count them, just like they used to. And everybody knew at the end of the night what the election results are. Now it takes us days with all this technology. Oh, that's right. So they can manipulate the vote. That's why it takes days. I always say Trump won the election on November 3rd. Biden won it on November 4th. You see how that goes? But you got to get out there and vote. I mean, they're going to steal. The steal's going to be on. And volunteer. Whatever it takes to watch the counting. Don't give them one chance. Be filming it. Whatever it takes. So they know they can't even look at a vote wrong and will know they're trying to commit fraud. It doesn't matter. See, we know they're going to do this. So if they came out and said Joe Biden won, if he's still running, I still think he's going to be replaced, but whatever. The Democrat wins. We all know it's a lie. We all know that they cheated, especially when it takes 2 or 3 days to come up with the results, and Trump had 90% of the vote. I mean, what are they going to do? Have, 150% turnout, voter turnout in America? Like 250 million votes? Is that what we're going to have to do to cheat this time? Wait, we didn't do nothing. We need to organize. And I guess people are saying, well, if I organize, they're going to see me and I'll get flagged and stuff. That man sat on the stage, took a bullet, saved his own ass, and then got back up again. And I'm sure when he gave that speech at the RNC, I probably had a little PTSD there. And then one thing they showed, he was a human being. He's got grandkids that love him. That's one thing wrong with the liberal. They don't understand what love is. It's all about you. What can I say I love you for so I get something out of you? Anyway, we need to organize. We need to create a movement. I want to see this on these other conservative web channels, a place where we can come and discuss like they used to do in the 1770s and 1760s in the taverns, at the churches. But we do it on social media now. And that's where these channels, we need to start organizing into our support, into our military units if needed. I mean, the fight's coming. I guarantee the other side's preparing because they know they're going to lose. So they got 3 months to prepare, over 3 months to prepare. Because I would say the Civil War is probably going to start November 6th. No matter what they say the results are. Okay? I just feel that the other side just seems to be a little bit more motivated than us. Maybe with their motivation and their acts, we'll get extra motivated this time too. But we got to stop this. This isn't what America's about. If America was about me going to work and earning money so I can give it to the government as a middleman, and they can give it out to somebody else that feels they're less advantaged than me. Since when did their pursuit of happiness become my responsibility? I like being poor. So I hope all you people that think I'm responsible for your pursuit of happiness like being poor, because you're going to be like me. This ain't the country we lived in. People just coming here and taking advantage of us, sending money to these countries to protect their borders while our borders are wide open. I mean, you want to know the issues of our Civil War is going to be? Name it. The debt, worthless money, the border, World War III, and try to enslave you, what they're teaching your kids in school. What's it going to be over? What's your line where you finally say, I've had enough? I see what's going on here, and I'm not going to be part of it no more. The video I made after I heard Trump got shot at, I was pretty upset. And if I would have known the details about that, people watched it happen. Like you say, maybe it's my military training. But even, what was that plane in 9/11? Where the guys go, let's roll. They knew they were going to die, but they did something about it. I want that attitude back. Okay? But I guess if Trump would have got killed, we'd have that attitude. But since he didn't get killed and he saved his own ass, we're good to go. Anyway. Hi, Kristen. Anyway, yeah, I'm going off tonight. This is kind of just, there's so much to talk about. I mean, if I were to sit there and put in all the notes, I'd be on 4 hours tonight. Just talk about everything. They want to compare Trump to Hitler. Trump's Hitler, because he's a nationalist, okay? Hitler was a national socialist. Big difference. There's not much difference between the fascists and the communists, okay? All I know is Trump is for me having my Second Amendment and me being able to have a weapon. I do not remember Hitler allowing his citizens to have weapons. Now, whatever. I do remember all this behavior that they agree with now was happening in the Weimar Republic. I studied a lot on this. It was all happening in the Weimar Republic. gay clubs, all this immoral stuff, you know, considering the structured, regimented lives they had under the Kaiser. Okay? And a lot of people saw, anyway, it was this disgusting life. Okay? And that's what brought Hitler, you know, and he was against that. So, you know, you people, Trump's Hitler, you know, you don't know history. And they always throw Hitler, Hitler, Hitler. Well, Biden's Stalin, okay? And Lenin, and Pol Pot, and Xi Jinping, and what's that stupid idiot in North Korea? I can't remember his name. Rocket Man. He's all of them combined. Great guys, huh? Anyway, they don't know history. It's all emotion. Well, somebody else said it, so I'm going to agree with it. Fat Kimmy. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at all the citizens are skinny as shit. He's a fat pig. But that's not look at the facts. I mean, they want a civil war. You know, you purple head freaks that play your Call of Duty and you think that's what combat is like, you're all dead. Not one of you knows how to take cover. You all run around like a chicken with your head cut off. Nobody organized. I'd love to sit there on that game once and take a fire team of Marines. We all get our characters and just take you morons on and totally wipe you out. You're going to find out war is not a game. It's work. And, you know, you do something stupid, you don't get to press the reset button. And that's, you know, why we yell, is to save people's lives, to get the gall darn attention. But if you want to go stick your head up there, hey, what's going on? Get your head blown off, I'm all for it. Anyway, hopefully after this, you know, one thing I said, if we would have, when they stole the election back in 2020, if we would have sit there and did something, we'd be all through this now. We'd be on the other side. Building the country back up instead of still tearing it down. It's time to solve this problem. We're all in a sinking ship together. Whether you're a liberal that think you're free and that Joe Biden think is the greatest thing there is, and the Democratic Party will always be there to save your ass, or if you're like me, who thinks the government wants total control and to enslave us, we're all in this sinking ship together because we're all going to be at the bottom together. That's where everybody's equal, at the bottom. And if Americans would go to the other parts of the world that they keep trying to bring here, they would see that. There's no middle class. You're poor, ran by the rich. Dirt floor restaurants. That's what they want to bring here. That's where we're all equal. Well, they sit there and take the fruits of our labor at the top, you know, and feed us bugs, and they're going to eat T-bone steaks and stuff. All this division, all this reason to hate your neighbor instead of just get along with him. Now, I try, when I see somebody, I don't want to hate him. If I find somebody that really dislikes me, I kill him with kindness. Start waving to him, hi to him, just totally polite and nice to him, to get to the point where they just like, I can't find a reason, and I feel guilty for being mad at this guy. You know, the way it used to be. We all had differences back then, but we all got along. Nowadays, if you don't agree with what your favorite color is, that's a reason to hate somebody and get divorced almost. I still don't understand it. Maybe it's because we're allowing the American culture to be totally destroyed, where it don't mean nothing. give up our citizenship and give up our money, everything we worked for, our wealth, our jobs overseas, everything that made this country great, we're just giving up on the morals and the hard work that made it good, made it a great country. Just giving it up because we want the easy life. As long as a liberal has something to blame, somebody to blame for their problems, they don't have to accept responsibility for their actions. Just like those people who were filming that idiot on the roof and they did nothing. If Trump would have been killed, they would have had to accept responsibility for their inaction. Anyway, it's a crazy world. And like I said, I hope the Democrats realize they're going to lose this time. They have screwed it up so bad and made so many mistakes that it's just best to do the best they can to save face, bring somebody else in so Joe can save face and that person will lose. And then regroup and try to go underground or whatever, and then try to come back in 2028 instead of destroying the whole country. And then maybe after 4 years of Trump, we get rid of all these illegals and a bunch of jobs open up where everybody's employed, everybody's paying taxes. We're not giving you funding these wars that we're not really allowed to do either, not by law, but I would say word of mouth by the founding fathers. And make our country to where you're happy again. If you don't want to say great again, that's fine. To make it where you're happy in your life and you trust your neighbors and you don't feel that some terrorist is going to come or some illegal is going to come and ruin your total life. Where you don't feel there's a reason to hate your neighbor just because he's on a different side of politics than you. We're all Americans. We're all in this sinking ship together. I'm not going to choose sides. I choose the side of everybody being free, whether people want to be or not. And I'll fight for the people that feel that they don't want to be free too. Remember, 80% of the population after the Revolutionary War had to accept freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and God's given rights. But our country's in for a world of hurt. You need to prepare not only for outages from the internet for a couple days, but no food being in your store, because the last thing you want to be, even though other preppers may say this to be gray man, no. The last thing you want to do is to show up for government handouts. Okay? I'm just saying. Facial recognition, you don't want to. So, anyway, you need to prepare for all that. I'm definitely prepared to live in my dugout, reading my Western novels from my lantern light. I'm ready for that. I'm so ready for that. I've always been weird though, like that. That's why I'm a lone wolf, because I never fit in. There was some stuff I found out recently. I know why now. But I never fit in. I always was I depended on myself because I couldn't depend on anybody else. And I hate to say it, even my parents. So I hope everybody gets to that point. We need good people on the other side of this. And hopefully one day, like I say, it's got to start. The war's got to start. If you FBI don't like hearing that, I really don't care. All the people monitoring this, I don't really care. You're the ones pushing for it. The only way to stop us from trying to take our country back is you to stop stealing it from us. Okay? A thief comes into my home, I am going to protect what is mine. And this is my country, given to me by my founding fathers, by some great men. And I will not let a bunch of people that feel I need to obey their every law, their every say so, the communists that are totally against everything this country stands for, to steal it from me. Is that easy enough? Okay? You're a thief coming into my home, and I will treat you as such. Okay? Just like you're the thief trying to steal it, and you will fight me to ensure that you can get what you want. I'm going to be that wall stopping you from taking what's mine. Anybody else wants to come to Lone Wolf Prepper? Write comments. Time to organize. See, I'm going to get into this again. It's upsetting to see. I remember being happy all the time. I mean, my growing up life wasn't the greatest, but I'd still have happy. I was happy. I knew I was free. I knew I could become whatever I wanted. I knew my neighbor wasn't going to kill me or wasn't going to hurt me or hate me because of the way I believe. But now, hate, discontent. I'm jealous of what you have. I don't even have anything if people are jealous of me, just because I'm happy and content with my life. Because I'm happy being a simple, humble man. It drives people nuts. I guess it's because I can't be bought. There's nothing anybody has that I will ever want to covet. That I will ever get the urge to where I'm willing to do something to take it. That's just me. It's nice being when you don't have those, worldly pressures to make you make wrong turns in your life. But anyway, you need to prepare. Most of us should be ready. You see what's happening. We got crazy people in charge, so crazy things are going to happen. And if we're all too afraid to even stand up when you see for over a minute somebody's going to take a shot at Trump and you don't do nothing, you're going to be a slave. I mean, if they were to put the gun to your head, would you finally react? Anyway, it's time for our government to fear and respect us again. And that doesn't mean we have to kill them. That just means we have to show them we're in charge. And the first thing is stop listening to them. Show them they have no power over us. That's the first step. I don't know why anybody would let the government tell them what they can and can't do and feel they have any choice in their pursuit of happiness. They're supposed to protect your pursuit of happiness and keep them, the government out of it, and anybody else out of your pursuit. So, anyway, it's going to get bad. Say on November 6th, when Demis got to realize, the liberals got to realize that they're going to be exposed. Oh, quick note. This is going to be the only thing after crap gets crazy that is going to be a vice that's going to be hard to break. Anybody agree with me who's a Mountain Dew fan? Yeah. Anyway, should be an interesting time. But that's the only thing I can't make myself is my Mountain Dew. So, but anyway, that's the way you prepare. And, you got to prepare for your own safety too. And always be watching. If you're in big crowds, don't break out your camera first. React first. If nobody else is going to fix a problem, it's up to you to render a safe situation. Do you understand that? You know what it is? It's like Vietnam. Where's your front line? Well, I'll tell you what, stand in one spot, do a circle, and anything that's in front of you is the front line. You're surrounded. And I guess we're all warriors now. You know, farmers that picked up their rifles and were Minutemen, they weren't military trained. But anyway, just time to take our country back. It's going to be a fight, and they're not going to give up. The lunacy isn't going to end. And, you know, tyrants don't stop. So we need to organize. Okay, more than that, Trump rallies and more than voting. The citizens need to become a force to be reckoned with. All right. And after a couple of days, the FBI and the ATF and, you know, the postal guy with his gun and the IRS guy with his gun. Our military is all overseas. And the ones that are here, we ain't got to worry about. Because I guarantee 80% of them wouldn't side with that anyway. And the rest of us, vets could just fill in the holes. Anyway, that's all the Lone Wolf Preppers got tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. I appreciate you coming, especially with YouTube burying me as much as they do, not giving out notifications, flat out refusing to put my stuff on the feed. I mean, what I say is so harmful. You know, I just a rumor, but I heard that YouTube's running out of face tissue paper because I got so many of them crying in their safe rooms because they've been triggered by me. That's just a rumor, okay? I heard, but the supply of tissue paper is running out. Don't know what to tell you. Would you rather hear the truth from me, or do you need the bombs exploding in your front yard? Or do you need your child killed by an illegal, raped and killed by an illegal for you to wake up? Or do you need to lose your entire, everything you worked for because our politicians are making stupid money management decisions? Whatever it's going to take for you to stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Okay, because eventually that time's going to come. When everybody realizes that the whole purpose behind the U.S. federal government now is to make you a slave. Because 4 years of Trump in D.C., unless he goes in there and just pulls that plug and shows the whole world how corrupt America has been, and shows the whole world how we've brought the world to the brink of extinction by liberal Democrat greed. Okay? That's what he needs to do. The truth needs to come out. Okay? In order for this not to happen until people forget about it again, like in 200 years, the truth needs to come out now, and the guilty need to be punished. Okay? The stain needs to be removed from history. And frankly, the whole world is waiting for the American people to wake up and do something about it. Okay? Anyway, this is Lone Wolf Prepper out.